Coming up next, the Sport Report. We cover all of the news and the results from the night before in the sports world. Become an expert on sports in under 15 minutes. Today, Chandler with Sports covers the MLB games as well as some soccer from yesterday.
I want to get you out the door with every result from every league in under 15 minutes so that you're more informed about what's going on in the world of sports. With that in mind, here we go. Hit it, Blaze.
This is the Sport Report.
Monday, August 26th, 2019. Before we get to top story, we want to mention Florida versus Miami, the opening game of the 150th college football season. Number 8 ranked Florida 24, Miami 20. This happened on Saturday night, and we accidentally omitted it from yesterday's episode. For that, we do apologize. The rest of the college football season will kick off this upcoming weekend. Now on to today's episode of The Sport Report. Hey everybody, I'm Chandler with Sports, and this is The Sport Report. Before we jump into the results from yesterday, let's catch up on the top story of the night. This is top of the order.
There's the pass to Leitner. Puts it up. Yes!
There is no time remaining.
He came up 1 yard short.
Derek Jeter with one of the most unbelievable plays you will ever see by a shortstop.
It's showtime! It's party time!
This is top of the order.
Our top story comes from Headingley in Leeds, England, the northwest of England. It was England versus Australia in what is called the Ashes, a biannual tournament between these two nations to determine who's the best at cricket between these two nations. While Australia were on the verge of holding on to the urn, which is the trophy in this series, and England needed to chase 359, meaning they needed to score 359 runs, and they only got 10 wickets or 10 outs to score those 359 runs, which is almost unprecedented in cricket. It would be the largest chase, which is the comeback, it would be the largest chase in English history. Well, they did it. They absolutely did it. Ben Stokes went in for 133 not out, meaning he scored 133 runs, did not get a wicket. He did not get out in this game. And England somehow, someway, pull off the unthinkable at Edgbaston. Back in 81, it was Ian Botham. In 05, it was Flintoff. And now in 2019, it's Ben Stokes, who 6 weeks ago during the Cricket World Cup final powered England to a World Cup victory. No, we're not talking about football. It's coming home in a different sport, though. That was 6 weeks ago. Yesterday, Ben Stokes did it again. An amazing innings, or a round at bat, for England. And the English are still alive in the Ashes. The series is tied at 1. If Australia were to win one of the next 2 tests, or matches, then Australia would hold the urn. For now, it's tied at 1. And England have a chance at Old Trafford starting on Wednesday, September 4th, and at Lord's about a week after, in order to take home the Ashes on their home soil. Aside from cricket, we've got Major League Baseball and a little bit of soccer. Let's start in the soccer world.
Trophy, and Solskjaer has won it! Manchester United have reached the promised land!
This is Off the Post, where we cover all of the news and results from the European big leagues and Major League Soccer.
We'll start in the Premier League. Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 3. Sergio Aguero had 2 goals for the Citizens as they take all 3 points from the Vitality Stadium. Tottenham Hotspur 0. Newcastle United 1. Joelinton, he scored for Newcastle in the 27th minute. That's amazing because Newcastle were not expected to win this game in any way, shape, or form. And now Tottenham Hotspur face Arsenal at the weekend, right before the international break in a North London derby. Both teams coming off losses. Arsenal lost to Liverpool on Saturday. Spurs lose to Newcastle yesterday. And finally, in the Premier League, Wolves 1. Burnley 1. Wolves equalized through Raul Jimenez in the 97th minute. Yes, 97th minute. It was stoppage time at the end of stoppage time. They had 5 minutes of stoppage time, Wolves got a penalty, and Jimenez slotted it home. Wolves take a point from Molineux. In Germany, Red Bull Leipzig 2, Eintracht Frankfurt 1. Hertha Berlin 0, Wolfsburg 3. In France, Monaco 2, Nîmes 2, Paris Saint-Germain 4, Toulouse 0. In Serie A, Udine 1, AC Milan 0. Roma 3, Genoa 3. Sampdoria 0, Lazio 3. In Spain, Barcelona without Lionel Messi 5, Real Betis 2. Leganes 0, Atletico Madrid 1. In Scotland, 8-time defending champion Celtic 3, Hearts 1. St. Mirren 0, Rangers 1. In Liga Apertura in Mexico, Toluca 2, Tijuana 0. Guadalajara 1, Necaxa 2. And finally, Major League Soccer. It was rivalry week. In a Battle of Ohio, FC Cincinnati 1, Columbus Crew 3. In a Battle of Texas, FC Dallas 5, Houston Dynamo 1. And in a Battle of the Freeway, the 405 Freeway in Southern California, LAFC 3, LA Galaxy 3. Zlatan Ibrahimovic struck twice for LA Galaxy in the first 15 minutes. Christian Pavone a minute later to give the Galaxy a 3-1 lead. LAFC would get one back before halftime, and then Carlos Vela scored his 7th career goal against LA Galaxy, as most against any MLS opponent. That one came in the 53rd minute. It would prove to be the equalizer to level the score at 3, and that is how it would finish at full time. With soccer covered, it's time to head to the Diamond.
Derek Jeter with one of the most unbelievable plays you will ever see by a shortstop.
Ortiz into deep right field. Back is Sheffield. We'll see you later tonight.
Someday the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
Now from Major League Baseball.
The MLB lineup from yesterday includes 15 games.
We'll pick up at Busch Stadium, where the St. Louis Cardinals defeat the Colorado Rockies 11-4. The Cardinals scored 6 runs in the bottom half of the 6th inning to get the victory. Antonio Sensatella falls to 8-8 on the season for the Rockies. Baltimore Orioles 8, Tampa Bay Rays 3. Dylan Bundy improves to 6-13 on the season for the Orioles, as Anthony Santander had 5 hits in this game for Baltimore. Miami Marlins 3, Philadelphia Phillies 2. Aaron Nola falls to 12-4 with a 3.53 ERA on the season for the Phillies. Eliser Hernandez improves to 3-5 for the Marlins. Atlanta Braves 2, New York Mets 1. Dallas Keuchel improves to 5-5 with a 3.78 ERA on the season for Atlanta. Steven Matz falls to 8-8 with a 4.06 ERA for the Mets. Mark Melancon gets his 6th save of the year for Atlanta, and Josh Donaldson had 2 homers in this game for the Braves. In 10 innings, Kansas City Royals 9, Cleveland Indians 8. Ian Kennedy improves to 1-2 on the season for the Royals, who won the game thanks to Ryan O'Hearn's 9th homer of the season in the top half of the 10th. Pittsburgh Pirates 9, Cincinnati Reds 8. Trevor Bauer falls to 10-11 on the season for the Reds. Houston Astros 11, LA Angels 2. The Astros scored 7 runs in the bottom half of the 8th inning to break this game wide open. Jaime Barria falls to 4-7 on the season for the Angels, as Framber Valdez improves to 4-6 for the Houston Astros. Arizona Diamondbacks 5, Milwaukee Brewers 2. Robbie Ray is 11-7 with a 3.86 ERA for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Zach Davies falls to 8-7 with a 3.9 ERA for the Brew Crew. Eduardo Escobar hit his 29th homer of the season for Arizona in this game. Minnesota Twins 7, Detroit Tigers 4. Martin Perez improves to 9-5 on the season for Minnesota. Matthew Boyd falls to 6-10 for the Tigers. Chicago White Sox 2, Texas Rangers nothing. Reynaldo Lopez improves to 8-11 on the season for Chicago. Texas had 1 hit in this game. That came on a Shin-Soo Choo single in the top half of the 6th. In a Bay Series battle, San Francisco Giants 5, Oakland Athletics 4. Will Smith gets his 30th save of the season for the Giants, who took the lead in the top half of the 7th when they scored 2 runs to make it a 5-4 game. Seattle Mariners 3, Toronto Blue Jays 1. Marco Gonzalez is 14-10 on the season for the Mariners. Clay Buchholz falls to 0-3 for Toronto. Daniel Hudson improves to 7-3 with a 2.69 ERA for the Nationals. Tyler Chatwood falls to 5-2 for the Cubbies, as the Nationals scored their 6th run on Chatwood's wild pitch in the top half of the 11th. They would add another run in the top half of the 11th to win by 2. The Nationals also get their first sweep of the Cubbies at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field since 2005. New York Yankees 5, LA Dodgers 1. Domingo Germán improves to 17-3 on the season for the Yankees as Clayton Kershaw falls to 13-3 for the Dodgers. Aaron Judge guaranteed his 99th homer of his career earlier in the day. Well, he delivered on that promise. He hit his 16th homer of the season in the top half of the third to give the Yankees the lead and the eventual winning run. That was technically the final game of the night, as it was Sunday Night Baseball, but we're saving this for the final game of our recaps. San Diego Padres 3, Boston Red Sox 1. Manny Machado hit his 27th homer of the season to put San Diego up 3-0 in the bottom half of the first inning. Joey Lucchesi improves to 9-7 on the season for the Padres. Brian Johnson falls to 1-3 for the Red Sox. Kirby Yates gets his 37th save of the year for San Diego. But the story of this game didn't come from baseball, but rather some antics from the video staff at Petco Park in San Diego. Traditionally, the Red Sox play Sweet Caroline during a Red Sox game at Fenway Park. Well, the Padres thought they would play Sweet Caroline, and in the middle of the song, right before you're about to get to that point where you start singing Sweet Caroline, they started playing Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. Yes, they got rickrolled. The entire crowd got rickrolled. It is 2019, and yes, that still happens to this day. That's the Sport Report for Monday, August 26th, 2019.
For now, I'm Chandler.
Thanks for tuning into the Sport Report today. We'll be back tomorrow with the latest in sports. In the words of Joe Buck, who is a commentator for Fox Sports,
We will see you tomorrow night.
so let it be written, so let it be done. See you next time on The Sport Report.
Do you want to contact Chandler with sports, have thoughts on sports, or questions about advertising on the Sport Report? Find us on Twitter or Instagram at SportReportCWS for either social media site.
This podcast is copyrighted by The Sport Report for viewers to understand sports from a news reporting basis. Any other use of this podcast, Sport Report logos, or anything associated with this podcast without the express written consent of Chandler with Sports is strictly prohibited.